What's up, everyone? Today's episode is brought to you by Bingetown TV's first official sponsor, Riverside. Before getting into today's episode, let me tell you about their amazing platform. Our podcast has been going strong for the last 4 years, and while we've experimented with many different video recording softwares, nothing compared to Riverside for all of our meeting and content creation needs. They completely changed the quality of our audio and video, and we'll never look back again. Riverside is everything you will ever need for content creation, including top-of-the-class features like auto-generated transcriptions, easy-to-use clip creation tools, video marketing, and much, much more. My personal favorite attribute of Riverside is their ability to bypass any poor internet connections as they record everything locally before automatically combining them together into a final product. The Riverside team are professional experts in their field, and they even have an entire library specifically dedicated to helping their user base master their tool called Riverside University. If you are podcasters, YouTubers, or simply just looking to upgrade your audio or video software for more casual chats with family and friends, Riverside is a must-have. You could try Riverside for free at riverside.fm, and you can use the promo code BingetownTV, all one word, for 15% off. We'll leave you with the link and the promo code in the show notes so you can check that out. Once again, that is riverside.fm and the promo code BingetownTV for a discount. Thanks again to Riverside for being an amazing service for our podcast and sponsoring this episode. This is going to be a first ever for Bingetown TV. If you're listening, we've in the past been known for doing random recordings of recommendation episodes, or more famously, our pitch towns, where we're actually trying to convince others to watch a specific show. But this type of episode, or this format, something new we're gonna try out. It's gonna be called What You Watchin'. Pretty self-explanatory. Free form. We're not going to have too much structure here, but it's really just a way for us to catch up and talk about shows that we're not doing the podcast on together. Maybe like soft pitches, some more criticisms than you'll normally see on some of these recommendations, because we're just going to all be brutally honest, see where it goes, and if we have fun doing it and it gets listens, we'll probably do more of these in the future. So I just did a bunch of talking. Does anybody want to start with something recently that they've been watching that they're dying to talk about?
I can start.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna rip through some things because I watch a lot of TV. It's the only thing that settles my anxiety. So the thing that is and this isn't what I'm gonna deep dive, but I just want to mention this because I never get to talk about Grey's Anatomy on this podcast. So I think that this is a great place to talk about it. I'm on my Grey's rewatch, which is my millionth rewatch. But as everyone knows, season 20 is airing right now. So I think the way my Grey's Anatomy rewatches have gone on since I was a kid, because it literally started when I was in 5th grade, has been like I've seen maybe seasons 1 through 5 15 times, really, and then I've seen 1 through 10 times, and then once it gets later, I've only watched some of the later episodes like one time. So I'm on my season 16 right now. It's bleak, I will say. It does not hold up as much anymore, but because of the characters, like I still love them. They could go on for 1,000 seasons and I would watch them just sitting around. I really would. It could be a completely new cast of characters, and because they were in the hospital, it would be fine. So I wanted to tell you guys, I wanted to pitch this to you, how I watch this show, because I watch a million other seasons of things, and I want to tell you guys because I think you guys will think it's ridiculous. I watch Grey's in the small moments of my life. Like I'll be chopping something, I'll be doing something. Mm-hmm. Then every time I shower, I put my phone on the back of the toilet, and I have a glass shower, so I throw water my entire shower on the glass, so I'm able to watch through the shower.
And wait, so can you hear it, or are you reading subtitles?
Oh, there's subtitles, but I'm blasting it because I also have to turn the fan on in the TV, or in the TV in the bathroom, so it's super loud in there. So I am sometimes I bring it in the shower and I put it on the little squeegee rack, but I've been trying to keep it outside so I don't ruin my phone. But anyway, how do you feel about this?
I don't think I've ever felt the need to do that for a show. I'll do it for a podcast. I'll throw on a Bingetown TV podcast while I'm showering, but never a TV show. I don't think I've ever done that or considered doing it. Sounds like a great relaxation way, though.
That's dedication. My first thought is, have you ever looked into investing in one of those phone pouches so you could just prop it up in the shower, like something tailor-made to it?
Yeah, that could be in my future. People have sent me like TikToks and things of that because they know that I'm throwing water on the glass so I can watch through it. But have you guys ever seen Grey's Anatomy? Like any of it?
No, and my question was going to be, does the whole community also feel the same way you do about, like, you don't even care if the cast is just completely new, if a new season comes out, everyone's just watching it if you're a Grey's fan?
So I think everyone's in my camp where, we love it still, but it's not great anymore. Like, there's 3 of the originals, and even Meredith basically left. So there's really only 2 of the originals, which are Bailey and Weber. And it's cycled through so many people. Like, some of the main characters that started in season 5 had stayed until 15 or 16, so they were actually on longer than some of the OGs where people say like Izzy or George, like those are their favorites, but it ended up people who came in season 5 ended up being like staple characters that mean more to people than the people from the beginning. So it's a revolutionary show. It's fucking iconic. It's the greatest of all time.
You want to hear what's funny is that the only 2 episodes I've ever seen, and I may have told you this in the past, is like, if you want to use the word iconic, I've seen the serial or the shooter?
The shooter in the hospital. Oh my God.
That's my only exposure to Grey's Anatomy, and it was like the most intense thing I've ever seen. So I can see why you're so passionate about it, because that was a sad one, and I didn't even have any context. But
I'm gonna be honest, I had no idea season 20 was airing right now. It's just one of those shows that I know it exists, and I just am always surprised that it's still ongoing.
It's been around my entire TV going life, and I've always just been like, meh.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Grey's Anatomy was really good for a really long time, and they'll still hit beats. I mean, they still have 20 episode seasons, whereas it's so rare these days, right? They're a cable they're still ABC's #1 show. There'll be a few episodes in the season that rock your world. They'll go nostalgic. They'll bring back music that hit from like earlier in the seasons and stuff. They know how to still get you, and they'll throw money at it to get you. Like during the COVID era, they brought back McDreamy, who, spoiler alert, doesn't make it through, the whole series. So they do a great job. I didn't really mean to talk about it this long. I just kind of wanted to say I'm watching Grey's Anatomy.
Starting off hot with Grey's Anatomy. How can you follow that up? Beatles, what you watching?
Can you guys hear me? First of all, I'm seeing it trying to reconnect. Make sure you have stable internet, and it's gone. Okay. B-Toms, what you watching? I have actually had a pretty strong 2024 in terms of just binging all the content available. A couple rewatches. I know, Dave, you're on that Avatar The Last Airbender rewatch, but the thing that has stood out to me the most, and it's one I don't think we've ever talked about, is called Winning Time. It is on HBO, the artist formerly known as HBO, now Max. It is about the Showtime Lakers in the 80s. So essentially, it's 2 seasons. I get the feeling it got canceled in season 2 because they kind of had it set up to be continuous, and then the last episode they give a slideshow of this is what happened in the next 8 years. But series starts out, Magic Johnson gets drafted in 1979 to the Lakers, who currently have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and a bunch of role players, but it follows him as probably one of the 3 main characters, and then the other main character is Jerry Buss. He was the man who bought the Lakers that same year, went all in on Magic Johnson, and pretty much turned them from a team that got the shit kicked out of them by Boston year in, year out to a competitor, and kind of it follows the dynamics between the West Coast and East Coast, Magic Johnson playing for the Lakers and Larry Bird playing for the Celtics. But I think the thing that really got me, it's a sports show, obviously, but it's kind of like a period piece. It does a great job of taking you into the 80s. I was like loving how overly bombastic and how much they play up the drama between the characters, but all of these kind of characters are larger than life. I mean, Magic freaking Johnson, he was the man, and getting to see him, it's just like a very entertaining thing to have this period piece, whatever you want to call it, and I was wildly entertained as someone who likes basketball, was aware of the Showtime Lakers, but I had no clue how crazy it was. And the 80s were fun, man.
Dude, I just finished not just finished, but I just did The Last Dance for the first time. MJ's documentary on Netflix now. And I'm kind of upset that I didn't watch this one first, because it obviously would have played in right into MJ, like towards the tail end of Magic's career.
Well, I do want to highlight it is not a documentary, so it is like a dramatic.
Interesting.
Actors are playing the characters. They're following the character storylines.
Are any of the actual basketball players in it to make commentary at all, or not really? It doesn't work. It's not like that kind of show.
No, it's like a TV show. It is not at all
cool.
documentary. That's what I'm saying. It's like it does a very good job. Like I said, these characters were larger than life. They fit right in a dramatic TV show, and it's like funny, it's crazy, like people are having sex, they take you behind the scenes. It's like, it's just very interesting. I was aware of the story, but I didn't know like how nitty gritty it was. Paula Abdul, I didn't know that she was like the first Laker girl. Like that's how she got spotted. They made like the Laker cheerleaders from like, I don't know, not what you would consider a cheerleader today. And this guy, Jerry Buss, just came in and was like, let's get bars in the stadiums. Let's like, honestly, lose some of the clothes on these cheerleaders. Let's make this an experience. We got to sell basketball here. Like, get the people going. And he was like Dr. Jerry Buss. He was like a playboy. It was just like these, I'm going to say it again, these characters were larger than life, but these real people were larger than life. Dr. J makes an appearance when they come to Philly, man. Are you kidding me?
Oh, that's pretty sick. When did this come out?
Within the last 5 years. I do not have an answer, but there's 2 seasons, each 10 episodes, and it takes you through his rookie season and his second season. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is a main character. Magic is a main character. Jerry Buss and his daughter Jeannie Buss are main characters. Jeannie Buss is actually the current owner of the Lakers. So it follows the story of the real people, and it's a really good, entertaining story.
What's that called again?
Winning Time.
I am so hooked when it comes to, even if it's like a dramatized scripted show based in reality, it makes it that much better when you're watching something, even if it's scripted, to be like, the fact that it actually happened, it's like, you can't write this shit, but you can. Like, it's so crazy.
Can I stop you right there? Because I also started watching The Crown, and it's the same deal.
Yes!
But
yes.
You know how much I want to talk about that. I want to highlight
No.
But I
thumbs up, thumbs down.
Oh,
yeah, what do you got?
Thumbs way up, dude. My boy Matt Smith is
he's crushing.
A main character in the first season, but like well acted. It's like you just said, you can't write a better story. This shit happened. Like the political espionage that we think of in high fantasy, like Game of Thrones. This is like not high fantasy. It's like politics. This shit, I don't know. It's crazy. It's a great show. I'm only 1 season in, though.
I'm looking at the cast. It's got some pretty big names. I mean, Adrian Brody plays Pat Riley. I didn't know that.
Oh,
John C. Reilly plays Jerry Buss. Yeah, I had no idea.
Jason Segel's in it for like a season and a half.
Oh,
2
really?
seasons. Why am I saying that? 2 seasons.
Nice.
Oh, I'm looking too, yeah. I was like, Adrian Brody plays Queen Elizabeth. What are you talking about?
Dave was still on Lakers time.
And so tell me, is our girl Darby in The Crown, right? But maybe later?
Not yet.
Okay, so he'll get there eventually. Gotcha.
Yeah, she plays the youngest Princess Diana in season 4. I think she jumps in. So you've got a ways to go, but The Crown stays strong. Definitely dips at the end, but like the first 4 are so good. And Claire Foy as Elizabeth rocks my socks. Well, her sister really Vanessa Kirby, who plays Princess Margaret, really rocks my socks. But
that was a surprise one that came out of B. Tom's mouth. Just threw The Crown.
I love
in
that
there.
about him.
I'm hooked on period pieces. Well, it's Masters of the Air that kickstarted the whole thing. So then I'm thinking 1940s. That naturally led me to The Crown. And hey, Winning Time, like I said, the 80s looked fun.
All right. What you watching, Dave?
Yeah, I can go. I'm really rarely, if anyone is like a diehard listener of Bingetown and listens to these episodes, they probably will not be familiar with my voice since I'm never watching anything. But this time I felt confident enough that I was watching enough outside of the podcast to hop on here. So one show that I'll start off with, House of Ninjas, which was on Netflix, which Luke, Alki, and I, as the roomies, watched together. It was something that we kind of just randomly found on Netflix. It didn't have any marketing to it whatsoever. It was just something that had popped up, and this was right before Shogun had dropped. So we were looking for something to kind of fill that void and kill some time, kind of like Japanese style, and kill some time before Shogun actually dropped. So we checked it out, and I'm going to be honest, it was good. I'll just leave it at that. It set itself up really well in the beginning, but the issue that I have with it is that it just was way too tropey by the end. Like, it became so predictable that, like, every major event that was happening, I was like, okay, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. Maybe one good twist throughout the whole series. I don't know about a season 2. I don't think it wasn't, like, crushed. Like, people didn't consume it all that much, so I'm not even sure if it's going to have a season 2. But you know me, I'm always into the Japanese stuff, so I wanted to check it out on Netflix. It had popped up a little bit, and so I thought I'd give it a shot, and was a little disappointed with it, if I'm being honest.
Animated or live action?
It's live action. To expand a tiny bit, I agree with you, Dave, everything you just said. Like, the first half was so hype. We were getting into it. We loved sitting down to watch it. And by the second half, we kind of predicted most of the things. So who knows if Netflix will keep going with it. But it is awesome to see, like, modernized ninjas. It's in a world where ninjas are kind of obsolete and they're trying to live normal lives, but they're using these ninja skills in really cool and interesting ways. And it's a story that kind of forces them back into the ninja world again and how they adapt. It's an interesting take on, like, a family that's dealing with this, but I don't know. It's not something I would super heavily tell people to watch until maybe season 2 comes around, but who knows?
I truly think our boy Hiroki Sanada, who, you know, is obviously
Hiroyuki
Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Yeah, I feel like he definitely would have been a part of this show if not had he been recording Shogun at the time. So
maybe, yeah.
It's just one of those things. I just picture him in it, but he's not actually in it. It's just his face just comes to my mind. But it was something. We'll say that. It didn't fill the itch of Shogun, which obviously we could
talk about that forever.
Have you been watching Shogun or something, dude?
Yeah. How can I not recommend that to everyone that's listening right now?
Still haven't
we have the
touched
podcast.
it.
Me neither. I'm so ashamed. It's because I was trying to finish Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and I just can't finish it. I'm stuck, and I have to finish that before I start Shogun.
I knew in the back of my head that you and B-Toms had not seen it, so I was like, we don't have to talk too much about Shogun, but House of the Ninjas was just something that I for any anime watchers, you could probably avoid it.
Whenever I'm off the podcast clock, I digest shows at my own leisure, Dave. Sometimes I binge, sometimes I just leave it on the back burner, baby.
He's waiting till next October to watch The Fall of the House of Usher, but he'll get there.
Well, that one makes sense. That's a seasonal show. It can only peak if you watch it in October.
That's true.
And what else, Dave? We'll give Dave another one here because you caught up on a pretty big series that I know Kathleen, Brian, and myself have seen.
I didn't even think about this because it's been a little bit, but yeah, I haven't, I guess, really told many people. But yeah, I finally caught up in Stranger Things.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
I was stuck on, I think it was the start of season 3 for so long. Like, I binged. Obviously, season 1 came out, and obviously, like everyone else, watched it when it came out, loved it. But then season 2 came out, and people were very down on season 2. And as someone who loved season 1, I was like, that's just going to ruin my vibe. So I didn't really watch it. I just kept delaying. And then all of a sudden, the season 4 is what we're on now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Came out, and everyone was like, oh my God, best season of Stranger Things yet. So I was like, okay, finally have to get back into it. Finished season 2, and for whatever reason, put it down and just took forever to pick it back up. But finally made it through seasons 3 and 4, and I have to say season 4 was definitely, I get the hype of season 4 at least. I loved it. It was definitely my favorite season. Season 3 was okay. I would probably still put season 2 above it. I think it's close, but honestly, I'm kind of back on the Stranger Things train. I'm excited for the final season. I'm glad that it's not going to be like a 7-8 season show. It's just coming up. It's coming down to the end right now, and I like it a lot. And it's going to be weird though seeing them return in this final season as like full on adults, basically.
Adults, literally.
Yeah. But honestly, pretty good show.
And B-Toms, you've seen season 4, right?
I have, yeah. That or season 1 is the best. I like me some season 3. It's probably my hot Stranger Things take, but
to be honest, a hot take that I might have is I don't even remember I don't know the actor's name, but who plays one? Whoever that guy is might have been low key my favorite performance in the entire show up until season 4.
Can't remember.
He's a beast.
I have to rewatch the whole series.
Yeah, but whoever that guy is, basically the villain of season 4, I think his performance was probably the best in all of Stranger Things.
You remember all the flashbacks, Kathleen, with 11 and her...
Oh, yes, of course.
The big reveal of the entire series. I was kind of stepping away from dancing around. I don't want to necessarily
How about
say
Eddie playing the guitar?
Oh, I mean, come on. I had to rewatch that scene like multiple times when it happened. I was like, that was just the coolest thing ever. And I'm excited to see him in
Fantastic Four's Human Torch, yeah.
Well, okay. Excited is maybe not the right word. I'm interested to see how he does in Fantastic Four, because I only picture him with the long hair being a high schooler rocking out, so we'll see.
He's in the prequel to A Quiet Place as well with Lupita Nyong'o, I want to say.
That's the one
that didn't come out yet?
Series, A Quiet Place. It might be out in theaters right now, but it's like A Quiet Place Day 1, so shows the attack. Okay. The good stuff.
I liked A Quiet. Are there only 1 and 2 out, and then the prequel? Is that how it is?
I think the prequel is being shown as previews for Dune, so I don't think it's out yet.
I think.
You know what the worst thing is? I went to A Quiet Place with like such a crowded theater, and everyone was just crinkling bags of popcorn and ripping open bags of licorice and shaking boxes of fucking Reese's Pieces, and I was like, everyone shut up. It was like every little creak in the room, I was like, I'm going to kick some little kid's ass.
You have no idea, because I saw it with my ex-girlfriend in theaters, and we had some edibles beforehand, and we were a fucking mess. Oh my God. Of course she's like, all right, we're going to order Chipotle and bring it into the theaters with us. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, I'm pretty hungry. I'll do that.
You're a savage.
She brings a fucking bag of chips.
Oh,
so she's crinkling the
God.
fucking bag. Just like housing Chipotle chips as A Quiet Place. No one's speaking, obviously, because the movie is silent, essentially. And like, oh my God, I had to go up to pee, and my flip-flops were just like sticking to the floor. And I was really crying laughing in the bathroom, because I was just like, this is too much for me right now.
I'm pretty sure you two were in my theater.
It was just, and honestly though, the movie itself was actually pretty good. I was surprised, because I really liked the first one, and I had lower expectations for the second one. There was like 1 or 2 scenes that I thought were whatever in the second movie, but I'm excited to watch how it starts. Honestly, the prequel. It's a shame though about the couple. Fucking, what's their?
Oh, I don't know if that's true about. Is
it not true?
Emily Blunt and John Krasinski.
And John Krasinski, is there?
There was rumors.
There's rumors they split.
Twitter or not? They were together at the Oscars though, so I don't know.
No, they love each other.
Yeah, I want to believe that as well, but there were like murmurs that something had happened.
That can't be true. Luke, what you watching? Distract me from that heartache.
I'm gonna give you a quick hitter with a movie, and then I'm gonna give you two things I want to talk about for a second. The first is just a movie that I saw, I think at this point, like 3-4 months ago. I don't even know if it's in theaters anymore, but I wanted to mention it. I really enjoyed Zac Efron's The Iron Claw, which is based on that true story about the wrestling family a couple decades ago that got famous in America. But it's just one of the most emotional I've been about a movie in recent memory, and just shout out Zac Efron, amazing. Chef Jeremy Allen White killed it, and then our boy from A Murder at the End of the World, Harris Dickinson, was also in it. So it was just an all-star cast. They all killed it, and then the co-lead for Mindhunter, not the main younger guy, but the older guy, he is also the father in that movie, and everybody just had an amazing performance. If you haven't seen that one, grab some tissues and go watch it, because it's definitely worth it. And B-Toms or Kathleen, have you guys seen that?
No, I haven't.
Not yet, no.
Yeah, definitely worth it when it's like out on everything, HBO and stuff. But anyway, I wanted to mention that. I would have felt bad not because it was such a good movie. For the two shows that I wanted to mention here quickly, the first, I don't know if I know anybody besides Paul that's watched it, but he really enjoyed it. It ended a few years ago. I just finished binging Gravity Falls on Disney Plus, which
Whoa.
Okay.
yeah, this was like a super random decision that I made to just pick it up. It's 2 seasons, completely done. I think it finished like 4 or 5 years ago, around that time.
This is Matt Kelly's like favorite thing. He just binged it as well, and
Yeah.
the last time we did something like this, he told me about it, and he was like, "You have to watch it." So, what is your opinion?
So I thought it was amazing. Like, it is so meticulously crafted. Everything in the background of this seemingly cartoon for kids show is so important. And the second season, so it's split into 2 seasons. The first season is typical cartoon, like for kids, but what I mean by that, it's like a monster of the week. And the whole idea is that these two kids, these two 12-year-old twins, go to visit their great uncle during a summer, and it's just like a town that is marked by aliens and monsters and mysteries and all these crazy things going on. And the whole first season, I'm not gonna lie to you, if you're an adult, it's kind of a hard watch. Like, it's a background watch because it's really just showing different adventures. But the whole point is you're getting introduced to the different concepts. Where the last 2 episodes of the season 1 start the plot basically, and then all of season 2 is just go, like really intense and well thought out plot where you look back at season 1 things and like the answer to the whole show was there, kind of thing. Like, it's so well made, and it's basically Adventure Time, but just condensed to like a 2-season show that's just front to back so funny. Like, the characters are pretty unforgettable, and there is childish humor in it, but there's also humor that I know for a fact like little kids are not getting. It's not really meant for them. So it's one of those type of shows. So damn good, and I'm pretty sure, forget what the percent on Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb, but it's like above 95.
It's above
one
90,
of those.
yeah.
Yes.
It's one of those random shows because I've stumbled upon it and meant to watch it. Have you ever watched Adventure Time start to finish?
I have seen 90% of Adventure Time, but it's been so long that I know all of that stuff, like all of the ending and all the spoilers and things, but it's like the same level of quality, same level of balancing between kiddish themes and like adult dark themes, because they do interweave those pretty well.
Yeah.
And it's just a fun show. Like, I would totally recommend it for Dave B. Times. I know you guys like Adventure Time. Kyle would probably really enjoy it. And I was just pleasantly surprised. I actually finished it yesterday, and it's just so well done. That's the biggest draw for it, is how meticulously created it is by the author or the creator, Alex Hirsch, I want to say.
I told Luke this when he was watching it, that I vividly remember being in college and like being in bed just checking out Twitter and just, what's trending, I guess. And Gravity Falls, when it ended, that final episode was all over my Twitter timeline. Like, everyone and their mothers was like, this is the best show. This is an incredible finale. Like, no other show is going to top this, yada, yada, yada. And that was like however many years ago, like 6-ish plus years ago about. And
First one was 2012.
And then there was a big gap, I think. Maybe it's
Oh, okay.
And it's a star-studded cast. I mean, Louise from Bob's Burgers plays the main sister. J.K. Simmons appears in season 2. Like, they do have
Ron Swanson's a big character.
Yeah, like I'll see like TikToks of like voice actors that are like everywhere, and Gravity Falls characters always appear because their voice actors are just everywhere. So star-studded cast, and I'm definitely gonna watch it just based on how Luke perceives it, and I'm a big animated nerd, so.
And if you don't have the time to watch it all, there are a million guides out there of what's plot relevant in the first season. You can watch like 4 or 5 episodes of the first season and be good and get everything that you need, and then then you'll have to watch all of season 2. But if you were looking for a time-saved shortcut, it's definitely worth watching, in my opinion. Anyway, I wanted to bring that one up real quick, and then another one that I finished a couple of months ago that I am now officially this is one of my top 15 shows of all time now. Little outdated here, but Mr. Robot, which is a 4-season completed show. I think it was airing mostly when like 2016 was probably like the middle of it. So it didn't finish. It finished a couple years ago, but this show was amazing. It was everything that I kind of hoped it would be, where the premise, if you haven't heard of it before, is what's his name? Rami Malek plays an awkward, hyper gifted coder. And the whole idea is that he's on the line between like being partially a criminal and being like a straight arrow, and like he's in this world of coding, and you can really the thing that really drew me in is you get to actually see what everybody knows what coding is, but seeing it be applied in like realistic ways. And this show gets praised for its use of coding and like the language that they use and how they use it in a realistic way. It was such a good show, and it's all about the conspiracy of like the government, what's really happening in the world. There's different hacker organizations. It was a nonstop drama that every couple of episodes my jaw was on the floor. And the one caveat I will say about this show is if you're going to go in to watch these 4 seasons, you need to commit to watch all 4 seasons, because at the end of every season, it almost completely changes your hindsight view of what the prior season was, and that doesn't culminate more than in the finale season, where you actually like the whole entire show gets rewritten basically with like the reveals that happen. Just top tier television. I really stumbled upon it because I was just looking for a show to watch. It's near the top on IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, any random recommendation sites or lists you see, Mr. Robot's usually there, and it's for a good reason. I'm extremely happy I watched it, and I will definitely be watching again. I think it's like I said, like a top 15 show of all time for me now. It's a big commitment, 4 seasons, but any of you guys on the podcast that if you guys sat down and decided to watch it, I'm pretty confident you're gonna walk away loving this show as much as I do.
You know, the actress who plays Dominique is Meryl Streep's daughter.
Ooh, I don't think I knew that. I love her too.
I've seen the first few episodes, and the actress Portia who plays Angela, I remember I was like, she is so cute.
Yeah,
but I didn't finish the show, but that's what stuck with me. Just couldn't stick with it, but
my roommate wants to do a pitch down for Mr. Robot. If
I'm sure he sold you on it a little bit
on the pod. I didn't need much selling. I've seen it around, and Rami Malek seems like he's got that look about him that he would just fit into that role, and this show made him blow up. I mean, he springboarded this into Freddie Mercury, and the rest, as they say, is movie history. But
so true.
Yeah, it's something that's been on my list, and I just haven't gotten to. But hey, maybe I should. Maybe we need a pitch down, eh?
This is your sign that you should probably keep it on that list.
Nah. Night at the Museum is what springboarded him into stardom.
Who's that night? He was in that?
Rami Malek in...
Yeah, 2005, whatever. He was like a side
What was
character.
he playing?
I just looked it up, and it is so funny.
Is he like the
like a guy on a horse, or like...
I have no idea. Let me see. Night at the Museum. Rami Malek.
Did he work at the museum, or was he a part of the display that came to life?
I'm guessing
No, he was King Tut, it looks like.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I could kind of have a memory of him being like in the Egypt wing.
Oh my god, he looks so different. Because that's
but anyway,
20 years ago.
Let's call it at that. This is probably going to be a 2-part recording, so we're going to have another couple of recommendations what we've been watching, but it seems we each got some time there to talk through some of what we've been watching all outside of the podcast. Anybody have any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Here's my pitch. Grey's Anatomy Season 1 is only, I think it's 9 episodes. That's it.
Are they 30 minutes or hour?
42 minutes.
Is the first season strong?
Let me just confirm.
Some shows take a couple seasons to round into shape. Is the first season a strong niner?
Strong 9. I'd be so confident in saying if you guys watched the first 9 episodes, you'd be hooked on the show. The episode 9 finale has a mic drop that like rocked the world. It basically, Grey's Anatomy like paved the way, and it overtook ER as like the longest running medical drama of all time. It's just one of the greats. When it's the best, it's the best. So I would suggest the first few seasons are chef's fucking kiss.
You know, they call it a white women's One Piece, is what I've heard. Longevity and quality.
That's awesome.
But no matter how hard we pitch One Piece to you, Kathleen, are you ever going to read, what are we at, 1,100 chapters? Which I shouldn't...
I watched the live action, which was 10 episodes, so I think you guys owe me Grey's Anatomy 9 episodes, which will be shorter because the One Piece episodes were like full hour long.
Fair play.
Fair.
Serve returned.
You'll be ripping through them because they're so damn good. You'll be dying for that drama. You'll be saying, push one a epi, clear.
All right, guys, on that note, we open with Grey's Anatomy, we'll end with Grey's Anatomy, and that's going to be part 1 of our first What You Watchin'. This is going to be a 2-part series. We're probably going to record right away, and so tune into our other episode, which should be coming out around the same time if it's not already out. But if you want to hear other things from Bingetown TV, come check us out on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. It's Bingetown TV everywhere you can find it. We cover all kinds of shows. We're doing Traitors. We're doing Invincible. We just did True Detective, Solo Leveling. We got The Boys, The Bear. We got all this in the chamber. We're a great time. Come check us out at Bingetown TV. And besides that, catch us on the next episode. We are Bingetown TV. And thanks for listening.